What if I told you the person on your mind is also thinking about you? At this moment, as you're watching this video, unseen forces are flowing through the quantum field of human awareness. Somewhere in the world, there's a soul reaching out across time and space, looking for yours. They don't know why they feel discontented today. They have no idea why your energy continues to nudge at the periphery of their consciousness, but you're going to discover it. For more than a century, the world's leading psychologists have researched something that doesn't make sense: the invisible threads connecting human hearts across impossible distances. What they've found will leave you wondering about everything you believed you knew about coincidence, connection, and the secret language of love. This isn't magic. This isn't make-believe. This is science that skeptics aren't prepared to accept. The ancient mystics referred to it as the red thread of destiny. Quantum entanglement of mind is some of the new psychology refers to it as, but Carl Jung named it synchronicity, and that changed everything. And today, as your consciousness opens to these possibilities, quantum threads are humming across the cosmos, in cafes and workplaces, on park benches, and in solo bedrooms. Sensitive hearts are freezing mid-sentence, reaching to their chests, asking themselves why they feel changed suddenly. The question is not if this connection is there. The question is, are you prepared to crack the code of the secret language your soul has been communicating all along? Imagine this scenario. You're just living your typical day, when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, in particular, their face pops into your head. Your heart jumps, your breath is caught, and then your phone rings, their name on it. Or perhaps it's more subtle. You wake up with tears on your cheeks, from a dream you can't recall, only to find later that thousands of miles away, they were lying awake at the very same time, struggling with feelings they couldn't define. You sensed their hurt before you even knew it was there. These are not random chance events sprinkled about your life like meaningless confetti. As Carl Jung, the creator of analytical psychology, defines them, these are synchronicities, meaningful coincidences that demonstrate the unseen architecture of human relating. Synchronicity refers to the situation when two causally unrelated events happen at the same time and have profound significance for the affected person. It is the soul attempting to communicate in a language that the mind does not always comprehend, and when an emotional, energetic, or even spiritual connection exists between two people, such coincidences occur more frequently. You're not making it up. Something intangible is really in motion under the surface. Carl Jung stressed that the unconscious not only operates within each of us, but also binds us to each other. There's a collective unconscious, a web of symbols, feelings, and archetypes that we all possess. And when two individuals are linked, even though they don't realize it, they start to vibrate within this common network. So, it's no surprise if a person you are concentrating hard about is also thinking of you simultaneously, not because you wish it, but because something within both of you reacts, as if you were two instruments attuned to the same key, two hearts pumping in two different locations, but in rhythm with an unperceivable emotional harmony. This has nothing to do with science fiction telepathy, but with a more subtle and actual form of connection, unconscious empathy, intuition, emotional vibrations, which bring people together across space and time. This video is for you. If you've ever sensed that something is taking place, even though no one talks about it. If you question whether he feels it as well, even if he doesn't express it. And if you would like to learn the nearly magical but eminently real signals that tell you that you may well be thinking of one another simultaneously. Today I want to share with you 10 signals that can indicate this unseen emotional bond, signals that, as Jung and depth psychology teach us, are not fantasy but portals to a truth we tend to deny, but which the soul instinctively acknowledges. Prepare yourself, because what you're going to learn might change your perception forever of those coincidences that have touched you so deeply. You might find out that he also carries you in his heart, even though he doesn't declare it yet. Synchronicity is not merely a lovely coincidence. With Carl Jung, it is a tongue by which the universe or collective unconscious communicates to us between two deeply emotionally charged individuals. This tongue takes forms that are subtle, yet strong. When you find yourself thinking of one person all the time, and at the same time realize that he is acting differently, more introverted, more watchful, more present, without any identifiable reason, then you may be experiencing the impact of a synchronous connection. But how does it happen? When two individuals have shared intense moments, profound feelings, or even strong wordless moments together, an unseen bond starts to build between them. It is not built on reason or continuous contact, but on emotional recall and inner oscillations that both bodies and hearts have taken in. Have you ever experienced how you knew his mood without having spoken to him, or sensed something was amiss before getting a message? This isn't imagination. It is your unconscious operating like an emotional radar. Jung said our strongest feelings don't stay in consciousness. They plunge into the unconscious and just keep on flowing there like dark, unseen currents within an ocean of collective awareness. When he too has felt something profound with you, his unconscious stores this energy in what psychologists call emotional memory complexes, living, breathing archives of connection that activate across time and space. These complexes don't sleep, they don't forget, they pulse with life, sending out subtle signals through the collective unconscious, creating what Jung termed constellations of meaning that manifest in both your lives simultaneously. This is the reason why you may find yourself suddenly moved to listen to a particular piece of music, only to find out later that he was humming the same tune halfway across the miles. Just below the waves of visible feeling, the undercurrent starts to move, one which Jung termed as active imagination, a process wherein archetypal images, memories, and feelings begin to project across the field of psychic connection between all human consciousness. But there is something even more profound. When two individuals think of one another at the same time, even if unconsciously, they can start projecting images, memories, and feelings, and these projections going about in the collective unconscious can overlap in time, and that's why it may be that on the exact days you feel him closest to you, he comes out of nowhere, or he writes to you for no obvious reason, or he overreacts to something from you that you did not directly say. It's an echo of the heart, a silent symphony between two souls who still recall, still look, still vibrate with each other. In reality, this manifests in the glances crossing at the moment, in the posts that look as though they are created for you, in repeat dreams, in the songs that play by coincidence precisely when they carry significance for you. All of these are quite not coincidental when there is an incomplete story or profound emotion between you. Synchronicity in love is the language of the loving soul. It's what occurs when there are no words but a living connection. Sign 1. Abrupt changes in energy with no rational cause. Perhaps the most forceful and at the same time hard to comprehend sign is abrupt change of feeling without evident reason. You're calm, complacent, and suddenly you change. You sense fear, yearning, sadness, or even euphoria without tangible reason. Has that ever occurred to you? This may be more than just plain mood swings. Jung referred to the unconscious as a field of interconnectedness, wherein our innermost feelings not only affect us, but also project outward, and in some instances reach individuals with whom we share an intense psycho-emotional relationship. That is, when he thinks of you emotionally, his energy shifts, and if there is a genuine connection between you, you can sense this even without verbal expression. This energetic creation works through many channels of consciousness. You wake up with a mood that is alien to your own emotional topography, a sadness that tastes like autumn rain when your day started with sun. You experience a sorrow whose cause seems to emerge in soil you have never trod upon. You suddenly feel an intense longing to reach out to him, or you feel his presence so palpably. It's almost as if he is right there in the room with you, his energy signature unmistakable despite his physical absence. These are not mere random hormonal and meteorological ups and downs in emotions. They're the proofs of what quantum physicists are learning and ancient mystics have always known. Consciousness isn't localized in individual brains. When two individuals are emotionally linked on deep unconscious levels, their energy fields can harmonize over great distances, producing what Jung referred to as psychic contagion. unconscious transmission of feeling states among bound individuals. Contemporary neuroscience is finding out that our brains are made up of specialized neurons known as mirror neurons that fire not just when we do a thing, but when we look at or even fantasize about somebody else doing that thing. Jung's work indicates that such mirroring mechanisms far transcend the body's brain into the world of the collective unconscious, where emotional experiences are potentially shared instantly through space and time. Sign 2. Coincidences that aren't coincidences. You're browsing through a bookstore, thinking about him, when a book comes crashing down from a shelf high above right in front of you. You read the cover and find that it's The Geography of Love, or that there's a passage within describing long-distance relationships. Coincidence? Your logical mind tells you so. Your soul whispers otherwise. Jung changed our comprehension of such occurrences by terming it synchronicity, the coincidental happening of events that seem to be unrelated by cause and effect, but are meaningfully linked. He found that when we have an emotional stake in some person or thing, our psyche starts to constellate out a reality around that emotional stake, and we get a network of meaningful correspondences that practically defy statistical probability. Think about the science behind it. Jung collaborated with physicist Wolfgang Pauli to investigate what they referred to as psychophysical parallelism, the concept of mind and matter as two sides of the same coin of reality. What they were finding indicated that when we concentrate intensely on someone with real feeling, we construct what physicists now understand as non-local correlations in the quantum field of consciousness. This implies that your concentrated attention towards him is not only present in your internal mental realm, it radiates outward into the fabric of reality itself, affecting the pattern of probability in so-called random events. You begin to hear his name popping up where it was least expected, because your consciousness is actually magnetizing these experiences into the real world. Signature 3. Common dreams and dream symbols. Dreams, Jung found, are the royal road not only to the individual unconscious, but to the collective unconscious that ties all human experience together. When two individuals share a deep emotional bond, their dream lives tend to become reflective of each other in ways that cannot be explained in a normal manner. My client Sarah started having very vivid dreams that she was strolling through a Japanese garden with a person whose face she couldn't quite see, yet whose presence felt achingly familiar. These dreams recurred every Tuesday night for 6 weeks. Subsequently, she found out that her former lover, who lived on the other side of the country, had been attending meditation classes every Tuesday evening in a Japanese garden, and had been thinking about her very intensely during those meditation sessions. This is because deep emotional connections form what Jung referred to as archetypal constellations in the collective unconscious. Once you've experienced deep moments with another person, moments that touch the essence of your being, you create what researchers now refer to as empathic resonance patterns that can continue even if you're physically apart. The dreams themselves tend to use strong symbols that are both recognized instinctively by people. You may dream of golden strands bridging your hearts, yet you find out later that he woke up feeling an inexplicable need to purchase you a gold chain. These collective symbolic experiences are happening because your unconscious minds are drawing upon the same archetypal imagery in the collective dream bank of humanity. Neuroscientist Dr. Rupert Sheldrake's morphic resonance research is a scientific model for explaining how information and experiences can be transferred across space and time through his term morphic fields, invisible networks that bind similar forms of consciousness. When two individuals have deeply bonded, they form a shared morphic field that still carries information between the two, even when they are asleep. Sign 4. The fluctuations in your energy when he is thinking of you. There are those times when you feel a sharp pain in the heart, a stirring in the heart, or a feeling whose cause you cannot find. And the next thing you know, you heard from him, you dreamed about him, or he just showed up somewhere. For Carl Jung, these instances of coincidence can be explained by the theory of synchronicity, events which are causally unrelated, but exhibit a more profound symbolic and energetic interdependence. Sign 5. Synchronicities, repeating numbers, songs, symbols, Has this ever happened to you that you notice his name on a poster, in a novel, or on a series when you're exactly thinking of him? Or that a specific song comes on, one that has special relevance to both you and him, or repeating numbers such as 1111 or 2222, occurring right when you're thinking of him? This is not an accident. Sign 6. You sense his presence despite the distance between you. It is night. You are by yourself, and then you sense him not in your mind but in your body, as if his energy enveloped you, as if his memory took a walk with you in the quiet. Such an occurrence has psychological and emotional reasoning, but it can be something more, a projection of your unconscious and energetic intuition. Sign 7. Synchronous mood or behavioral shifts. You both wake up one evening without obvious reason. You share a peculiar nostalgia or sadness simultaneously. Even if you have no contact, you experience emotional changes that synchronize. Energetic psychology presumes that with a strong emotional bond, there is subtle communication among the unconscious minds. Signature 8. Silence that is full. No calls, no messages, and a silence that is not hollow. It is weighty. It is like something wishes to be spoken but cannot find the means to do so. Jung wrote about how the unconscious speaks, even when absent. Silence can be more communicative than speech. Sign 9. You feel he will come back, and he does. You have an intuition, you dream of him, you know it, and in a few days, he calls you. Carl Jung had the belief that the unconscious can preempt events, not because it can see the future, but because it can read faint signals that pass under the radar of the conscious mind. Sign 10. His presence soothes or unsettles you. He's absent, but the memory of him reassures you or utterly bewilders you. His memory does not remain neutral. It goes through you. It transforms you. When someone has the ability to alter your world while he is not physically around, this is a sign of an unfinished emotional connection. Maybe there's no evidence, no words, no "I miss you" said out loud, but your body remembers, your soul remembers, and your unconscious speaks the truth over and over in symbols, dreams, and unexplainable feelings. These 10 signs are not rational evidence, but they are signs that there is a strong bond between you, even if he denies or ignores it. Intuition doesn't deceive. When you consider him and feel as though he's thinking of you too, you're not losing your mind. You're sensing something true that simply has not been said yet. Trust your sense, but safeguard your heart, because although the soul may love in silence, it does merit a love that expresses itself in gestures rather than vibrations. As Jung insisted, what you repudiate tames you, what you embrace metamorphoses you. So here you stand at the end of this epiphany, and your heart beats differently, doesn't it? Because in the depths of you, you knew. For every synchronicity, every unexplainable moment, every time you sensed their presence across impossible distances, your spirit was speaking a language your mind insisted on not translating. Jung was correct. What you deny binds you, what you accept transforms you. But here's the truth that will transform everything. Right this instant, as comprehension swells your mind, somebody somewhere else in the world just halted what they were doing. Their pen poised over paper, their coffee cooling in their cup. They have no idea why, but all at once they are filled with hope, a feeling growing in their chest, the unexplainable knowing that someone somewhere is loving them with great affection, and they're not wrong. This is your moment of decision. You can shut this video, go back to the comfort of skepticism, assume these connections are coincidental. You can continue waiting for rational evidence that will never show up. Or you can believe what your soul has been screaming since day one. The signs were never intended to persuade your mind. They were intended to enliven your courage, to remind you that there are bonds that transcend physical laws, that there are loves that will not abide by the rules of space and time. So I leave you with this question, and it's the only one that matters. If your souls are already having this conversation across the universe, when will you finally let your heart speak in words? The universe has been conspiring to deliver this message to you. The choice is yours as to what you do with it. Trust the signs, trust your heart, trust the impossible, because on the other side of fear lives a love that makes synchronicity look mundane. If this video spoke to your soul, share it with someone who needs to be told this truth.